So we have finally seen our #1 most anticipated movie of 2018. That movie is Widows, and wow!
Blew us away. Oh my goodness.
It's so good! Widows is the new film by Steve McQueen, who is like outright neck and neck with Alfonso Cuarón as my favorite director of all time. And I know it's right up there for you too.
Yeah, he's certainly in my top 3, like one of the most inspiring artists on the planet.
And so coming off the back of 2013's 12 Years a Slave, we were like totally fired up for this. And the 5-year wait was complete agony, but oh my god, was it worth it?
And we went into this film not watching any trailers, and if you're lucky enough to have not seen any footage so far, stay away from it. If you don't even know the plot synopsis, my goodness, even better. Keep it that way, because it will be one of the most beautiful experiences in a cinema. So we're going to keep details to a bare minimum here. All you really got to know is it's a crime drama heist film from one of the greatest directors on earth. And this film stars the absolute goddess in Viola Davis. Along with her, we have Michelle Rodriguez, Elizabeth Debicki, Cynthia Erivo, followed by Colin Farrell, Liam Neeson, Robert Duvall, Daniel Kaluuya, Jon Bernthal. We even have
Tyree Henry. We've got, it's just, the cast is so stacked. It's incredible. And guys, we are not fucking around when we say that while we don't know if it's our favorite film of the year yet, it might be by the end of the year, we don't know. From what we have seen, this is the most essential movie of 2018, if not of the decade.
I'd even argue that this film is probably the most important film of this current era that we're living in. It is urgent, it is relevant and far out, it is fired up.
It's just impossibly important. It's so essential. Like, this movie swings at absolutely everything from grief to trauma to racism, sexism, domestic violence, police brutality, interracial marriages, social expectation, political corruption, and like so much more. That's just the start of it. And it lands every single punch.
Look, honestly, I think this is one of the most layered films I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, the entire car ride home, we could not stop digging at this film and going deeper and deeper.
It's like an onion. It's got layers, and it also made you cry.
It did indeed. I mean, like,
me cry.
It has so many goddamn elements. When the further you go down into this kind of deep, bottomless pit that Steve McQueen has created, you keep finding more and more ideas and more things that are actually interlinked and connected with one another. It's actually a miracle that somehow this thing exists.
So many elements to unravel. There's so much to explore, and that's very, very exciting. And what I love about that is the way that McQueen and co-writer Gillian Flynn, who was responsible for Gone Girl and 2018's best new TV show Sharp Objects, is they managed to bottle all of that stuff inside what is essentially a pulpy little heist thriller. I mean, Ocean's 8 can eat my fucking ass. This movie is the real deal. It's firing at maximum stakes, maximum tension, maximum drama at all times.
If people fuck up, there's consequences.
These women are in over their heads and shit goes wrong, and their situation is so endearing that we were both with them every step of the way.
And that's because of McQueen's exceptional direction, coupled with the absolutely outstanding ensemble, which bring together an earth-shattering portrayal of grief and trauma. And that's what I really want to talk about next here. Because so often I'm watching action films, right? And we see our lead character go through different losses or parts in their life which is completely life-altering, whether it be to do with family, friends, or themselves. But never do I actually truly believe that character is suffering and actually going through and experiencing that trauma on screen. Sometimes that's to do with script, sometimes it's to do with direction, or maybe it's even just to do with the actor. But Viola Davis knocks it out of the freaking park. I mean, my goodness, I don't think there is a single actor or actress on the planet that could have pulled off this performance of like this level. I mean, I have never seen someone connect with trauma and grief the way she does on screen here with her character. Like, every single moment of suffering, every life choice that she has to make, which will completely alter and change the direction of that character. I see it happen. I see it in her eyes, and that is such a hard thing to pull off. But here, Viola Davis captures suffering in ways I have never, ever seen before.
Steve McQueen is in an elite group of directors when it comes to people that really understand human beings, and he's the absolute top of his class. He is the undisputed master when it comes to accessing human suffering. He makes us experience it and endure it and connect with it like no one else.
But what he does really beautifully here is he allows us to question what suffering really is. And here we get a portrayal of different human beings in different walks of life where every single person is suffering in their own way. And what that allows you to do as an audience member is when you're sitting there is it kind of presents this mirror where you start to reflect in your own life and kind of ask, well, what is suffering to me if this is suffering to these characters here? And also, what is my version of suffering? Do I really think that I am suffering because of this?
Is my life so bad?
Yeah, is my life so bad because of this? Because if I believe this, then do I therefore believe this? Because then you start to kind of question a lot more things and you start to go, well, actually, am I just making up excuses for myself? Do I need to just get up, stand up, and go and get shit done? And that's what this film does so goddamn well. And man, I walked out of this theater just ready to go.
And because of that attitude, this movie feels utterly fucking desperate the entire time. Every single character in this movie is just fighting to survive. Forget the American dream. The characters in this movie are just trying to hold on to what's theirs, or hold on to who they are, or in some cases, find out who that person is. And at every turn, there's someone trying to take that away from them, and that's part of the mastery on display here.
It's life. I mean, for someone to win, someone has to lose.
And I don't think I've ever seen that handled in such a tightly woven, intricate, and complex way before.
And there is no way this could have been as tightly put together if it wasn't for the incredible work by the amazing ensemble here. And I mean that every single performance is so good and of such a caliber, it is unbelievable.
It's a lot of the best work of a lot of the people in this movie.
The best Liam Neeson performance I've seen in a very, very long time. Every single performance, no matter how small it is, they just bring such power, but they never try and rise above it. They just do exactly what is required of them.
And some of the characters are barely in this movie at all. They're in it for like a matter of minutes, and they completely you're like, you are so good in this.
How about Steve McQueen's storytelling though?
It's something else.
I mean, look, it might not be as operatic or cinematic as his previous efforts, such as 12 Years a Slave. I mean, what a goddamn masterpiece that is. But here he's working in a different genre completely, yet he still finds some of the most creative ways to tell a story, the most creative ways to tell scenes that you've probably seen in so many goddamn action films before. But here, somehow he does it. He just does new things, new wacky things. It's like,
Just
how?
totally unique. How does he do it?
He's a magician. That's how. A magician.
Honestly, each consecutive moment delivers a complete cinematic knockout. The sheer creativity on display here by McQueen is off the charts, with him deploying one-ers and reflective shots, point of view work, and just all kinds of dynamic, kind of complex frames. And each of those frames is always giving us contextual information about the characters or subtextual information between the words. Cinematographer Sean Bobbitt delivers the same naturalism approach that he went for in Shame, and it makes every frame of this movie feel utterly tangible.
Yeah, and then we just talk about a little magic trick that Sean Bobbitt and Steve McQueen do here. Now, we're watching a crime drama thriller, right? And quite often in these films, we expect big bird's eye view shots of the city. So we go, hey, look, this is a city we're in. But that actually doesn't tell us anything about the city.
It's just a city.
So what do they do instead? They actually communicate the city through the characters, through behavior and attitudes of the characters towards this city. So we get a good understanding of Chicago, the feel of Chicago at a ground level.
So much of that is communicated through contrast and the fact that the characters in this movie are also diverse. So we're seeing all these different walks of life, all these different occupations, all these different kind of things that people do in their day-to-day lives. And because of that, what we end up with is an environment we've got this setting that feels so much more real and authentic because of it. We actually end up with a really strong sense of place because of the people that are in it.
And shout out to the sound designers here, because they absolutely pack a punch. The opening sequence of this film is so creative and so inventive. It is unbelievable, as is all the other action sequences throughout this film. It is just bloody jaw-dropping.
It's just brutal. It sounds violent and aggressive, and it sounds so much better than most other movies in this genre.
It sure does. And we also have Hans Zimmer, who did the score for this film, and he does a terrific job. He doesn't show up too much, but when he does, he's firing on all cylinders.
And WIDOWS is firing on all cylinders in all fields all the time. It's a force to be reckoned with, and it kicked my fucking ass.
This film turns it right up to 11. I mean, my goodness, it is passionate, it is fierce, it is achingly human. It demands to be seen in a cinema, and it demands to be seen by every single person on this planet. My goodness, get struck by WIDOWS and feel the electricity in your veins.
To anyone who's been fighting for diversity in movies, anyone out there seeking representation in their films, anyone who's been looking for movies with complex exploration of genuine, tangible, relevant issues, or just anyone who has been begging Hollywood for smarter movies with something to say, put your goddamn money where your mouth is and see WIDOWS. So those are our thoughts on WIDOWS. Have you seen it yet?
Did you like it?
Did you hate it?
Did you like this video?
Of course you did.
Crave more banter?
If so, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel down there somewhere, and you can also check out my new channel, Loverboy Media. Over there somewhere, I post my Why I Love series there. Check it out.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. All those links are just down below.
And we also have a Patreon. Thank you so much to anyone who is supporting this channel. If you do feel like supporting us, we offer a bunch of cool rewards on there, so do check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.